Joined on the phone line by Ashwin Patel, who is the research analyst in charge of auto at LKP Advisory. Thanks so much, Mr. Patel, for taking the time. I do want to ask you specifically about the numbers. Is this a significant miss compared to what you were expecting? And specifically on Jaguar Land Rover, from what I'm reading on the press release, they've said that they have significant retail orders to the tune of 110,000, but the real problem is the supply side problem, right? And what are you seeing in that helps you understand the outlook for going forward?
Yes, I would like to say that till a few quarters back, the company was facing issues on the demand side, and now it's the supply side which is playing as a villain. The numbers are, definitely what we were expecting, about 15% below our expectations. The biggest miss has come from the JLR side. As we had a con call with the company, with all the analysts last month, where the company had specifically, mentioned that there is a supply side constraint coming from the semiconductors, and that is a big issue that the company is facing right now, and that's well reflected in the Q1 numbers. So the EBIT margins were a big miss. Then the cash flows were not in line with what we were expecting. And going forward as well, as the company has mentioned, there will be a pressure on the supply side from the semiconductors scarcity. So these numbers were expected, but they are much lower than what we were expecting. And mainly that is because of the RM price hike, input costs, I would say, the steel and aluminium and the precious metals, which have risen unprecedentedly over the last couple of quarters. And to add to this, the supply side issue is playing badly on the numbers. So overall, I would say that both on the domestic as well as the JLR side, the numbers have disappointed. Well, on the domestic side, we are expecting a very strong recovery by Q3 of this year in the CV cycle. And also on the PV segment, the company has, is gaining market share. So, I mean, majorly the issue is on the JLR side and not on the domestic side.
It's well documented, Ashwin, that a majority of the revenues and most of the profits usually for the consolidated entity comes from JLR, and so therefore a pre-tax loss of 110 million pounds for the quarter is a significant dent. And as I understand it, 30,000 units lower on the wholesale sales side was to be expected, but like you point out, the raw materials increase or the cost of raw materials has hit them hard. The question really is the kind of recovery that they made last year out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Can we expect something along those lines? If not, according to you, is it due for a re-rating? I'm talking about the stock.
See, last year definitely the company had made some sort of recovery in their numbers overall, despite the COVID pandemic. Now they were on a recovery path, but the supply side issue hit them very hard and badly at the wrong time. So I would say that once this issue gets resolved, maybe in a quarter or two, even the company is not sure about the timeline of its revival. But once it gets revived, I think that the demand is quite robust. So definitely the stock can go for a re-rating from here. But at this point in time, there is a lot of uncertainty about the timeline and when will the issue get resolved on the supply side. So as of now, I think most of us will be maintaining our status quo rating on the stock, like maybe a hold or something like that. Because at this point in time, we are not sure about when will the recovery happen. And once we start seeing the green shoots in the recovery path on the supply side, because demand is already strong. And the thing is that if the demand is strong and if you cannot cater to the demand, then there is no point. So going forward, we have to wait and see how this the supply side issue gets resolved. And maybe the input costs also may start unwinding once once these macro issues get resolved. So I think these two levers will be playing very hard on Tata Motors in the coming quarter, and after that we need to see when it gets resolved, and then we can re-rate the stock maybe.
Ashwin, my last point and last question for you. Jaguar Land Rover as a company is known to spend quite a bit on R&D. It has quite a lot of investment spending that it lays out for the year. Is that going to be a major overhang in the context of sales not taking place?
Maybe, because the company has been spending a lot on JLR, because the EV wave is quite trending in the Europe and the US and all, and the company wants to be there to take a full advantage of that. So they have been improving their capex and increasing their R&D spend and all. But that is for a long-term basis, I would say, because EV wave is here to stay. And maybe in India as well as in the European countries, US, etc., the EV wave will be there for a longer time. Electrification of vehicles is happening at its own sweet pace. So even if the company is hit back at this point in time, they may sit back for a while and reduce their capex spending for maybe a quarter or two. But after that, they once this semiconductor issue gets resolved, they can start investing into capex and R&D, and already they have done a lot of investment. So they can use that in the later period when the demand will be already strong and the supply side issue resolves. So they may take a hit on their numbers in the recent quarter, or maybe 1 or 2 quarters down the line. So, but eventually it's a long-term thing. R&D is a long-term thing, and definitely it will be paying them back in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for taking the time and for sharing your views. Put things in context very well. Just a reminder.